Giles Harbour from Directors Talk, and I'm speaking today with Stephen Sanderson, the Chairman and Executive Director at UK Oil and Gas Investments. Thanks for joining us today, Stephen.
Hi.
Now, you've put out some exciting news over the last couple of days. Stephen, can you tell us about the Horse Hill flow test results?
Yes, it's been very exciting. The results we put out are from the first of our three test zones in the Horse Hill well that we're about to do. The first comes from the Kimmeridge limestone, the lowermost limestone. There are two limestones we're going to test. This one is about 900 meters below the ground surface. And I have to say, we got very unexpectedly high rates out of this zone. We actually perforated about 80 feet out of the sort of just over 100-foot thick limestone. What we've got now is over 2 days of flowing. This well actually flowed naturally to the surface under its own pressure. We didn't have to lift anything with a pump. It's flowed, consistently at sort of just over 450 barrels a day now. We haven't seen any drop in pressure, which is very, very encouraging. These rates are, as I said, very unexpected. This is probably the best well in the whole of the UK onshore in the last 15 years, and I'm told that by our well test supervisor and other people who basically looked at and conducted tests over pretty much all the wells on the onshore in the UK over this period. I think if you want a comparison, if you look in the United States in similar wells, similar sort of type oil wells from limestones and even shales, this would be in the top quartile of those wells in terms of the early rate, and you have to bear in mind that this is still only a vertical well. It's not a horizontal well. It's not been stimulated. It's certainly not been fracked. We're not allowed to do that because we're at 900 meters and there's a UK frack ceiling of 1,000 meters. I can say that the crude from it is very, very high quality. It's the same as Brent. It's light. It flows very freely, and we shipped our first 2 tanker loads yesterday at lunchtime, and that's all up on will be up on our website. The photos are there. You can even see the well test engineer pouring the oil from the test separator.
What's the significance of the results with regards to the commercial potential of the Kimmeridge oil play?
Yes, our original objective in testing this formation was to actually simply show that there was movable oil in the Kimmeridge and that we could get it to the surface. We've clearly well exceeded that. I think if you skip back to say April last year, when we announced that there were very large volumes of oil in the ground under the Horse Hill acreage, Newtek and Schlumberger said that there were about 10 billion barrels of oil underneath the Horse Hill licenses, 55 square miles in tight limestones and shales. There is about 1 billion barrels of oil in place in these Kimmeridge limestones that we were targeting, and over the whole of the Weald Basin, which is about 1,200 square miles, it was calculated that there were 20 billion barrels in these limestones, and over the whole area in all the tight rocks, about 124 billion. That was carried out by world-class experts, Newtek and Schlumberger. I think it was still regarded as being very much a science project, if you like. There's a lot of oil in the ground, so what? You've got to show us you can get it out. I think what this flow test has done is basically we've moved now from the science project to the verge of commerciality. I mean, these rates are basically showing us that we can get oil out of the ground at commercial rates. What we have to do now is we have to go back at some stage in the future, probably hopefully in the next year or perhaps less, to actually put these zones on a much longer term production test so that we can actually ascertain the exact volume that we can recover. So basically it proves that the Kimmeridge limestone play actually works and is now, I think, a commercial reality.
Brilliant. Okay. So what does all this mean for the company and for the UK?
Well, clearly, what it means for the company is that we're sitting on potentially very large volumes of oil in our acreage that we have a very high expectation of being able to extract now. I think, as I said, it's gone from a science project to actually being, on the verge of commercial reality. Clearly, we would have to drill more wells. I think this well shows us that our sort of pre-test estimates of sort of recovering 5% or so of this large volume of oil in the ground is very, very close and very realistic now. I mean, clearly we have to drill more wells to establish that, but everything on that is looking very good. So I think for the company, it's very much a game changer. I think also for the country, I think it's also very, very significant because these deposits do extend over 1,200 square miles of the Weald, probably slightly larger area. So you can imagine that the amount of oil now that's potentially extractable is very significant. There's a very significant prize there. So just out of the 20 billion in the Kimmeridge limestones, 5% of that is a billion barrels. So that's a very significant prize for the UK. So if this works and we can replicate sort of the Horse Hill site around various other sites in the Weald Basin, then I think we're looking at making a significant contribution to the UK's daily oil demand, which is currently 1.4 million barrels. I think the Weald could contribute between 100, 200,000 barrels. So we've calculated a range of sort of 4 to 25% of UK oil demand could be met by production from the Weald. Clearly, that's going to contribute many, many billions of pounds to the UK economy. It's going to generate a lot of direct jobs in people involved in the operation, but it's probably going to make a huge number of thousands of jobs in the actual supply chain and induce sort of jobs that would come with the industry being down in the southeast of England. So I think that's very important. The other thing for the UK is clearly it's very significant for UK energy security. Not only do we guarantee with an indigenous oil supply that we have the oil, within our own boundaries, but I think the most important thing that's associated is, of course, the economic benefit and the job benefit that comes to the UK, to England, and of course the southeast.
Wonderful. Okay. Talking to us today was Stephen Sanderson, the Chairman and Executive Director at UK Oil and Gas Investments. Stephen, thank you for speaking with Directors Talk today.